Excited to do this webinar with you today. Um, we'll have people filtering in and out, I'm sure. So we'll just get it going. You can hear me all right, I'm sure.
Yep. Yep.
Cool,
We're good on my end.
cool. Well, we're going to try to make this. We had quite a few webinars last year, just trying to help private practice get better at their marketing and give them some ideas on what to do. I looked over your webinar the other day. You were looking for some insight, and it was awesome. So I'm excited to see it. And so, without further ado, I guess go ahead, Luke.
All right.
Let's get going.
Cool. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. Share my screen here. All right. Can you see that?
Yep, we got it.
Okay, cool. Okay. Well, like Justin said, thank you guys for being here and for those of you joining in and out. But I wanted to talk about the compounding effect of digital presence today and how more visibility creates predictable growth. And I won't take too much of your time. Should be relatively quick, but important. So I wanted to first start out by defining the compound effect. And as some of you may know, it is the principle that small, consistent, everyday actions, when repeated over time, accumulate to produce significant and often exponential results, similar to how compound interest grows money. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of the theme we're going with here. Also, if any of this sounds familiar, I need more leads. How can I get in front of more people? Where are people looking for my clinic? I want to be the authority in my market. I'm glad you're here because this is also along with the theme. So let's get right into it. Obviously, every platform your brand lives on is going to increase your discoverability, right? Whether it's Google online search, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the socials, and even listings, which we'll talk about more in just a little bit. And I want to say for social media, especially, it's not only important to have the accounts created for Facebook, Instagram and Meta. It's also important to consistently post to them because it is becoming more and more common these days to, not only search for your brand that you're looking for on Google, but also on social media. I have a real world example of this for myself where I recently was looking for a tire repair shop or automotive shop. And I was looking on Google, I saw a few, and then I also searched on Instagram and I found the one that I was looking at on Google, and they actually had an account created and were posting actively, and I could kind of see uh, how their shop was run and the videos that they were posting. And for me, it just built my trust so much, and I actually ended up going with them. So I definitely think that is going to be becoming more and more common, and that's also why it's important. And then another aspect of that is what do we all do every day? Doom scroll, and that's okay. But of course, you want to get in front of people on their feed as they're scrolling, and that's just going to be in front of your followers, and just help remind them that you're here and that you're educating them. And then just to compound upon that with social media, to get in front of your non-followers, you can do social media ads. And that's how you can get in front of thousands and thousands of other people to view your content. And not only that, but even, you can direct them to your website. You can have a lead form where they can actually opt in for a hearing consult or tinnitus consultation just by scrolling on social media. So you can kind of see just with social media how that can build upon each other. And then, of course, there's the Google and online search people. These are the people that are going to be actively searching for your brand or for your products and services, right? They're not just scrolling on social media and happen to come across it. They're actively searching for tinnitus solutions or hearing care provider. And so they're a much higher intent lead, which is going to increase your conversion rate with those. And so with that, you're going to be like, well, okay, so like, how can I do better on Google, right? I'm glad you asked because we're just going to briefly go into the top three main ways that you can do better on Google. Number one being SEO, which is a search engine optimization. It's the number one way to stay on top of Google searches organically, and it includes a bunch of different things. It's not just one little thing, it's continuous optimization. Um, and then number two is Google Ads, which could be number one as well. The easiest way to get your clinic to the top of the page, even above those organic search results. Those are like the top three sponsored search results you usually see. So it's important to be at the top because, as most people are not going to scroll down past like the first half of the page. And then number three is going to be listing in directories, which is being listed on other people's website or other websites as a provider to help with discoverability. And number three and number one actually kind of go hand in hand and connect, and I'll go a little more into that in just a second. But I wanted to give an example of listings in directories because here at Audiology Intelligence, we actually offer a Listings Plus package where you can be listed on these three websites: My Tinnitus Number, Excellence in Audiology, and Defeat Dementia. Each of them have their own map, and you can kind of see at the bottom there, you'll have your own like provider page account created where it'll list your social media, your address, and your information, as well as your website. So this is just going to help with, discoverability. When someone searches hearing care provider near me, your website can pop up in the search results, but also the Excellence in Audiology site could pop up. And if they don't happen to click on your website, but they ended up clicking on the Excellence in Audiology website and search for a hearing care provider near them, you could still show up, right? So it's just giving you more chances to get in front of the lead or patient. Um, and then just to kind of go further, as you can see, and like I said, you can kind of see right there at the bottom, it links to your site. It not only builds trust and authority with the patient and lead, but it also builds trust and authority with Google because My Tinnitus Number links to your site, Excellence in Audiology links to your site, and Defeat Dementia. And these are what's called backlinks. And this is kind of going back to my previous thought of how number three and number one connect. Um, Google loves to see backlinks. It basically tells Google these credible websites are linking back to your site. So it gives your site more credibility and authority, therefore naturally increasing your rankings. So you can really start to see how this compounds, right? Because it's getting you more chances to show up on Google, but then also naturally increasing your own website's ranking. And so just to kind of further compound, especially with these listings, we offer we do digital ads in your local markets with these. So for each of them, My Tinnitus Number, Excellence in Audiology, and Defeat Dementia. And as people scroll and opt in, those leads will basically be sent right to you and your team, and you can treat them as a regular lead that comes in. Um, so really, you can kind of see that compound effect here. And these ads work so well in these markets that we can guarantee you 100 leads in the first 30 days of signing up with the Listings Plus package. And I'll kind of go into the three most recent campaign examples, just to kind of show you what we're seeing on our end. My Tinnitus Number, our recent campaign, has spent $169 and has produced 75 leads at $2.27 a lead. And then Excellence in Audiology, 55 at 363 a lead. And just for some more context for those of you that don't know, excuse me, on Meta, and these are Meta social media ads for the most part. On Meta, the average cost per lead that we see among our ads is anywhere from like 25 to 40. So, and anything below 25 is considered excellent. And so these cost per leads at $2 to, $9 is amazing to see. And that's how we can guarantee you 100 leads in your first 30 days at least of signing up on those listings. Um, so yeah, I mean, just in summary, just to go over just the things we talked about today, the social media, not only having your accounts created, but posting consistently so that your followers can see and engage. And then also to get outreach outside of your followers, adding on social media ads, getting those impressions. And then with Google, doing SEO, all those optimizations that we didn't necessarily go into, running Google ads so you're in those top three sponsored search results. And then something else that I didn't even really touch on today was posting to Google My Business, which can really help as well. And then lastly, the listings and directories, getting listed on those websites, which helps with the discoverability and the chances of you showing up in front of the lead, which also gives your website the backlinks and increases that authority and ranking. And then also on top of that, we run the digital ads for you, which I don't know if I mentioned, but we pay for those ads, and then those leads will be sent directly to you and your team. So each one of them have the compounding effect within them, and then when you combine them all together, it obviously really adds up.
Yeah,
And
one
so,
thing I want, oh, sorry, Luke, to cut
oh,
you
you're
off.
good.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say, yeah, back to the compounding effect that you're kind of talking about. Some people, some clients or some clinics that are listening to this or will listen to this, they do digital ads. So they kind of feel the pain of how much they have to spend on ads per lead. Like you mentioned, if we're getting 25 to $40 a lead, for a tinnitus lead or somebody that's requesting an appointment through Meta, that's a win. Like we like to see it there. So to have it be $2 to $3 a lead because we're using our national brands to get those for you, it's phenomenal. It's unbelievable really how low it is. And we just see those just crank out all day, every day. And so it's been pretty awesome to see the recent accounts that have come on to the My Tinnitus Number, Defeat Dementia, and even the EIA website that we've been able to do that for. But again, like you were saying, like the compounding effect, like just doing one source isn't enough. Just running one type of ad through Facebook isn't enough. You really need to be running them through all of Meta. When you say Meta, you're talking about Facebook and Instagram primarily. And then they could run through their other sources as well, Meta assets, and then running ads on Google and all of the Google, the Max campaigns, which we didn't even get a touch on today. I know it says there on your Google ads on this slide. Didn't even get a touch on that. They need to be running on that. And then we're really pushing this week and the next week of getting the Google My Business listings up to date so it can optimize for AI. AI really wants to see that you're updating all your information connected to your business in all of your assets. And that would include Facebook and Instagram and then other social media platforms. Really important for your Google My Business location to be up to date and to be updated regularly. You can't just sit there and just like forget about it. It needs to be something that's top of mind. And so when people are going to AI searches, even in Google Gemini or ChatGPT or other AI searches, then it's going to like what you're doing because it's saying this just isn't a business that's sitting around, and it's going to favor businesses that have real authentic stuff that's doing it all the time. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I just wanted to like bring that all together that that is part of the compounding effect of results. Can't just be one thing, can't just forget about stuff.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And honestly, that kind of ties right into the next thing I'm kind of going to touch on is just the idea that, you know, you can dominate one area. You can dominate, say, social media, for example, and post consistently. But if you're lacking in the other areas like SEO or Google Ads, you're going to fall behind to the person who is doing all of them. And just to kind of end this or wrap it up, I wanted to compare or do an analogy. I'm a pretty big American football fan. So a couple years back, the New York Giants had the best running back in the NFL, Saquon Barkley, but they didn't really have the other pieces. They overall were a bad team because their quarterback, their offensive line, their defense just weren't nearly as good. But they had the best running back in the NFL, and despite that, they were still bad. So similarly, if you were to dominate social media, but you didn't have the rest of the pieces, you're gonna fall behind. The best teams and every year are going to be the ones that are complete, that have the top five O line, the top 10 defense, the receivers, the quarterback, and all playing together, right? And so we don't have to go through all of these, but I did just kind of put them all together here. The quarterback, the automation system, the play caller, directs traffic, reads the defense, aka market, and ensures everything connects, leads, follow-ups, conversions. We got the running back, paid ads, quick, agile plays that generate fast gains, your short-term yardage leads. The offensive line, which is like the listings package and website SEO, it's the foundation, protects your QB systems, and gives the offensive time to execute strong SEO and listings, keep your visibility solid. And I'll just kind of skip through it here. You've got like the head coach, which could be you, the brand owner, clinic owner, that sets a vision, keeps everyone aligned, makes adjustments to keep the team improving every week. And then, of course, like fans in the stands, even it can go that deep where the community and brand reputation, the more you win, deliver results, the louder your fans cheer, aka referrals and reviews can fuel your long-term dominance. So I'll just leave you off with, I think it's very important to complete your team. Don't just dominate one little area. Don't focus on just one little area. You want to expand and do everything and not necessarily stretch yourself too thin, but you want to really dominate each one and complete that team because that's how dynasties and championships are made. So, one little thing I thought was literally a little jingle. If patients can't find you everywhere they look, they won't trust you enough to book. So, get someone who can sing and put some music to that, and that might be good. But I mean, yeah, that was really the main, all we had. I know I told you it wouldn't really take that long, but hopefully you found some value out of this. And if you have any questions about the listings package or anything else that we mentioned in here, feel free to reach out. I mean, we're always available to answer any questions and talk further. So I appreciate your time today and stopping in and listening.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Really appreciate it. It was short, but it did have some important reminders, and there's definitely value there. So we appreciate you putting that together. And we'll be able to send this out, and so more people can get eyeballs on it, and we'll put it in emails and all that stuff. It'll be great for people to see it as reminders. Again, if you're listening to this at any time, we can help you with all of these things. If you don't know where to get started, please reach out to us. Whether you're doing things with us or not, we are here to help you. Obviously, we have the tools in place to make action go fast, and so we can get things moving really quickly. So it's been pretty awesome to work with a bunch of other accounts and clinics throughout the country, and they're pretty much all surprised at how fast we can get moving compared to who they're working with previously, which has been awesome to see. So don't want to really overpromise, but we are here to help, and we can make it happen real quick. So
Indeed.
again, be looking out for our next webinar. Thanks for joining, and we will see you on the next one.
Yep. Thank you.
See you.